In our last video, we had a fantastic virtual tour with Apollo 11 moon landing mission when Mission Commander Neil Armstrong and pilot Buzz Aldrin from NASA's Apollo 11 spaceflight landed onto the surface of the moon for the first time in humankind. If you have not yet watched that incredible video, please use the link mentioned in the description to feel a wonderful journey to moon. To the moon and back to Earth. Let's see some of the really interesting facts about our nearest neighbor. The first man to set foot on the moon in 1969 was Neil Armstrong on the Apollo 11 mission, while the last man to walk on the moon in 1972 was Gene Cernan on the Apollo 17 mission. Since then, the moon has only been visited by unmanned vehicles. What is interesting to know is that all 12 people were from the USA. In the time since the Apollo 11 mission took place back in 1969, astronauts have abandoned plenty of items on the moon surface. Objects like tools, 2 golf balls, food, human waste, yes, you heard that right, and over 70 spacecraft vehicles are still up there. Why was it left behind? Well, it would apparently cost too much to bring all that rubbish back to Earth. While it is impossible for the average person to notice, the moon is indeed getting further from us. The lunar body is moving away from the Earth at a rate of 3.8 cm per year due to the effect of gravity. It is estimated that it will continue to do so for around 50 billion years. By the time that happens, the moon will be taking around 47 days to orbit the Earth instead of the current 27.3 days. Hey, we get it. Sometimes you just need some space. That number may seem quite staggering at first. However, the moon doesn't produce its own light. It actually reflects the light of the sun. The brightness of a full moon is usually 400,000 times fainter than the sun. That means that the moon has a lot of work to do if it wants to be as flashy as our brightest star. There is a full moon during every single month of the year, and each one has its own unique name. From January's wolf moon to September's harvest moon and December's cold moon, the lunar phases have been used to keep track of each month over the course of centuries. These full moons names are based on the behavior of the plants, animals, or weather during that month. Now, when you see a full moon in November, you can confidently point to the sky and wow your friends with the knowledge that you're looking at the beaver moon. If you think that your hometown experiences extreme temperature shifts, try living on the moon. Unlike Earth, the moon has no atmosphere to help shield it from the radiation of the sun. This means that when the sun is hitting the surface of the moon, it is baking the surface at a scorching 260 degrees Fahrenheit. Beyond that, on the far side of the moon where the sun doesn't shine, it can fall to a bone-chilling minus 387 degrees Fahrenheit. Have you ever gazed up at the moon and wondered about the contrasting light and dark spots that seem to cover the surface? What you're looking at is remnants of ancient magma flow that caused the rock surface of the moon to appear darker. According to the Washington Post, these dark spots are called Maria, which is a Latin word for sea. So what you're seeing are, in fact, former lunar seas and not the face of your grandma on the moon. How can a shadow get darker? When on Earth, light is scattered and reflected through air molecules, which is why the sky looks blue and allows objects not in direct sunlight to be still well lit. This effect is called Rayleigh scattering and doesn't happen on the moon due to the fact that there is no air up there. That's why shadows are darker on the moon's surface and spots that are hit with sunlight are even brighter. From Earth, both the sun and the moon look about same size. This is because the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun but also 400 times closer to Earth. The moon have quakes too. They are not called earthquakes but moonquakes. They are caused by the gravitational influence of the Earth. Unlike quakes on Earth that last only a few minutes at most, moonquakes can last up to half an hour. They are much weaker than earthquakes though. What do you think of these facts about our moon? Out of this world, right? Leave a comment below and let us know. See you in another video. Bye bye.